Okay, I'm talking now with Christine Nielsen. She wears many hats in the regulatory field. So we're looking at the issue of the manual, and one of the questions is, how do you think that organizations that use RPL will be able to utilize this manual, and in what ways do you think it will be very useful?
Okay. Thank you so much. As noted, my name is Christine, and I'm from the Canadian Society for Medical Laboratory Science. We do foreign qualification recognition using a PLAR process and have since 1999. And one of the things we were looking for in early 2003, 2004 was how do we know how we're doing? Was there a best practices guideline we could go back to? There was no checklist. So the manual that you see today is the manual I was looking for in 2003, 2004. We were very lucky to have contracted some research that helped us work on quality assurance frameworks, but there was very little information available. So I think this manual is exactly what anyone who's doing RPL will use, from the principles, which outline a principles-based approach for assessments, down to a checklist. How are we doing? And if we're not doing one of these competencies, why not? Is it still important? And maybe that can serve as a quality assurance framework for people going forward about 3 things we would like to take on next year and find some expertise. The manual also has lots of examples in it, and that's what's really exciting. There's great contact information, and if that's an area I haven't thought of, I think it's really good that you would have like a specific website or contact person to go to.
One of the issues that hasn't been brought up yet is probably because this is such an extensive and intensive comprehensive manual.
Yes.
That maybe people haven't thought about it, but perhaps in your field, your different areas, do you think there's some extra resources that people could use as, say, follow-up in addition to this, or sort of stemming from what this manual is promoting? So what other sort of things, resources can people utilize?
I think one of the best things that will come out of the use of the manual is a group of people having a similar conversation now. So what will come out of there is a network for sharing of information, and that's one of the best things about a conference too, which is a great place to meet people to talk about challenges you have. But I think the manual will really serve as a common language, and it'll help us articulate when something's not working, which piece is it? Is it a policy? Is it a philosophy? Is it timeliness for candidates? Is it that we haven't been able to put ourselves in a candidate's shoes to think about how the system feels to them. So I think it's really great as a framework if you are an old program or a brand new program. And I think it can really serve as helping you outline your opportunities. I won't call them challenges, your opportunities for the future, and to really get connected to others that have solved it or are on their way to solving it too.
And one final thought, and you could perhaps sort of illuminate this further. Reading this from my perspective, not being in the actual profession, I found this to be a very readable, accessible document. Did you find the same thing?
Yes, absolutely. The importance of anything, and it's big. You saw the manual. It's robust, and so it covers everything from philosophy to policy to training of staff that are doing assessments and making sure you have subject matter experts and good quality. It was meant to be readable so you could take out a piece of the section, so it wasn't too big. It wasn't a 50-page manual. It was that you could work on a piece at a time, or if you're lucky enough to be in an association with lots of people, each person could work on a piece. The one thing I forgot to mention is I do prior learning assessment as part of a contract for regulators. And one of the things that regulators need to do is make sure standards have been met. So this manual and the checklist will allow me to demonstrate to my customer, who is the regulatory bodies, that we're in compliance with best practices. And if there's a couple of policies we may need to consider, we'll be able to take that to them with credibility coming out from CAPLA as a peer-based resource that was created.
Thank you very much for taking part.
Thank you.
Thank you.